And we should be there.
Hey, Kev.
Looks like we're going to have a good house today. So, welcome, 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 each and every one of you. Thank you so much
Hello,
for taking
everybody.
time out of your busy schedule to join us. It is Saturday, October 21st, and it is time for the AMAs, Ask Me Anything with Robert Hollis. And we are just so grateful that each and every one of you have taken time out of your busy schedule to join us. Of course, the foundation is Ask Me Anything, where you get to ask a question to Robert Hollis, our multimillionaire, certified, of course. He's helped 67 people become millionaires, and he's going to help you kind of navigate through where you happen to be at this point in time, or even if you just have any questions about himself or how he became successful. That's what this is all about. You can ask questions in three ways. Two of them are pretty simple. You just go ahead, whether you're watching us on YouTube or here in Zoom, you go ahead and you click, you just type a question in the chat. Very simple. And we will ask those questions on your behalf. The other way is to get on Zoom. And then in Zoom, you can ask Robert personally. And we love the interaction when Robert goes one-to-one with people who are part of our community. So it's very simple to do that. You may not see it on the bottom anymore. Some of you may have the button down there, or the reactions button. Put your cursor in the middle of the screen. Look for the reactions button. If you don't see it, then there's a button there that says more. Click on that more button, and then click on reactions, and then click on raise hand. That will put you in a queue, in an order where we will call on you so that you can ask Robert personally questions. And that's what we love, because we love the interaction between you and Robert. That's what the whole point of the AMAs are all about. Just a couple of quick things before we actually get started. I also want to give people time to go ahead, find the button, and raise their hand, because we already have two hands raised, and we know those people know where to go when it comes to finding the raise their hand buttons. First things first, I want to thank each and every one of you for being part of our channel. We have 6,193 subscribers. We need seven more. Seven more subscribers, and we hit the magic of 6,200. I know, Kai. Almost there. Almost there. So we got to get there. Let's go ahead and see what we can do to build up our channel even more. We love you and appreciate you for helping us out. The more subscribers, the more of the message that we can get out to everybody. And James, yes, so fireworks all over the place. Love it, love it, love it. The second thing is, before we get started, I love sharing a lot of the things, like between what Robert sees during the week, what Terry shares during the week. And Robert, I love what you shared today. The quote of today, if you have not seen it already, ladies and gentlemen, this is what Robert shared. He said, "I think the most beautiful thing in the world is watching the light come on in someone's eyes after they've been lost in the dark for so long." Let that sink in. Yeah, I agree. Major thumbs up. And it is a wonderful thing when you see people's faces light up. I've seen it many times with this gentleman, because you know what? He is seriously interested in what you do, who you are, and how you can become a better you. So, without any further ado, let's get this Ask Me Anything started with the AMA Zing, Mr. Robert Hollis.
Craig, thank you so much. I love and appreciate you, the hostess with the mostess. I just appreciate you so much, and I thank each and every one of you for being on here. It's what I love most, like Craig just said. There's nothing that gives me more joy than seeing another human being have the aha moment, and then all of a sudden they change a lot of things in their lives. And I have a short thing I'd like to share with you guys this morning. It's amazing in my book, How's That Working? You can go to roberthollis.com/free and get it for free. And thank every one of you for your love and support. And, if you guys notice on my YouTube channel, I got a lot of pretty big people that have not only read that book, but also given me a review. And I had someone a while ago that read the book, and I respect them, man. I just love who they are. And I said, what's the biggest takeaway? What's the biggest takeaway you got from the book? And he said, I spend way too much time with people that are not interested. Okay. And so I was having a conversation with Joshua Daramella. I think I seen he was on here. And one of the things that me and him, he said, Robert, please, I don't mean to interrupt you, but can you plus record? So we were on a stream, a Facebook, a Zoom. And, all of a sudden, the guy wasn't able to get on for whatever technical reason. And so, he just asked me some questions. And here's the funny thing. Do you guys realize if it was coming from a different point of view, like I see Kevin and Shauna on here, and it's really amazing. I was telling Joshua that if someone reached out to me, anybody, male, female, it didn't make a difference. And they said, wow, I really like your profile. I like to get to know you better. When someone says that to me, my first response without even thinking is, I really appreciate that. My wife and I have been together for 40 years. She's the love of my life. I'm not interested. Now, don't you think that's the way that you should be sorting in reverse? See, my number one, if I know that somebody else is already involved, did you hear where I didn't say relationship or anything? If I know that someone else is involved, and you can see this sometimes from their profile, wouldn't it be neat to just compliment them? So I could say, hi, Nathan, it's great to see you. Congratulations on your success. I hope this message finds you and yours blessed. And then when they come back and say, thank you, then why not just get to the point and say, hey, Nathan, is there anything I could say or do to get you to take a serious look at what I'm doing? And see, for me, I know that I've mastered the skill of sorting. And what I focus on most, and I need you guys to really think about this next point, very, very, very important, that I believe a majority of the people on the planet are too busy trying to handle objections. They're trying to have a debate. They're trying to convince. They're trying to sell. They're trying to use NLP. See, their mindset is, and you guys will get this in a second when I say this, their mindset is that they are willing to do anything to get a person to become affiliate and get and buy something. See, they're one-track minded. And when you're one-track minded, you can immediately feel where the person knows that you don't care. It's the opposite of what I say to do, right? Now, let me prove to you guys that this is true, because I always tell people to have a sticky note someplace when they're doing calls or connecting with people. And all the sticky notes got to say is, how would I feel if, and how would I act if? Have you guys ever had someone reach out to you and you could tell from their first and second message that their number one goal was to do nothing but sell and convince you and get you involved in what they're doing? How does it feel? And see, you can get it from the first hello, can't you? You get like an instinct says hello, and you're going like, hello, where are you from? Or how are you doing? And you're going, for the love of God, man, please, for the love of God. So hello, I'm not interested. How are you? I'm not interested. And then I usually write underneath there, you only have 5 left. And they usually come back 5 left. And I said, yeah, if you learned from some idiot that told you need to get 7 no's, let me just help you out. And I put no, 5 in a row. And it's like, now, did you notice I went from feeling like, oh my God, to actually laughing and smiling like some of you guys on here? It's immediately go, how fast you can change your state of mind. You know what I mean? It's just like, and people just crack me up. So I want you to challenge yourself to come up with some things that you could say to do a faster sorting. With that said, do you guys, if I give this verbal message, you guys know I leave video messages, right? And I say, hi, Jody, I hope you're doing great. I hope this message finds you and Luna doing incredible. Have a blessed day, right? Do you guys think that message verbally coming from me actually creates a certain kind of reply? And so would you guys agree that the first response back and forth is telling you whether or not that person's interested? And I was telling Joshua that before the internet, I had to go out among people to find interested people. Are you guys hearing me? And so I figured out when I got my confidence that I was better in crowds because of my confidence. So I would go to food marts, at malls. And all I needed to do is get among a group, look around, and it never failed. Someone would look at me, I'd smile and nod, they would nod. There's my interested person. So here's one other thing that I'll share with you that I love doing. This is what I do for myself, so you guys get this, right? I don't remember what the current number is. Matt's on here. Thank you, Matt. I hope you're having a great day, my lovely son. How many people is there in America? Is it like over 350 now? I don't remember what it is. So someone can Google it quick and tell me. 370? Wow, it went up 20 million without me even looking at it.
I'm looking at 340.
Oh, 340. Okay. It went
340,
down.
552.
Look at it.
Yeah.
All right. So watch this. Do you guys know there's a thing called the IRS in America? If you're in other countries like Ola in Sweden, Joshua in Nigeria, you're going to have to, I believe Nigel's in Mexico. Hi, Nigel. It's like, so watch this. Nathan, why did I say Nigel? That's why then I seen his head move. Nathan from Mexico. All right. So watch this. In the United States, if there's 340 million people, they say there's only 175 million people that actually report to the IRS. Now, that means some of them are too young, some of them are too old, and some of them people are in professions where you use cash a lot. That's all I'll say. You pay in cash, not too many drug dealers with a Venmo account. I don't know, maybe there is, but so if I took 175 million, and you guys will see, I do this to myself all the time. It sort of tricks my mind, right? According to the IRS, 10% of the people make 100 grand or more. I want to get to that 10%. So I go times 0.10. That means there's only 17,500,000 people in America that are the people that I'm going after. Now, let me explain why I go after those people. And some of you are going to get mad at me when I say this, and that's okay. But people that are in the average tax bracket are usually there because they're in the average tax bracket. These are people that are professionals at doing as little as possible and still wanting to get paid a lot of money for it. People that have busted their ass to get above $54,000 per household are people that truly want more, whether it's a part-time job, a couple of side hustles, whatever it is. But the way I was approached, you guys, 37 years ago was, do you know anyone that would like to make six figures or more a year? So why would I approach everyone? Because you know what every broke, lazy, poor, mentally, financially, whatever other acronym you have for them, you know what they all have in common? They know people that are not like them. And if I could motivate those people with a theoretical example, telling them if they introduced me to someone that wanted to make six figures, or people that make six figures that want to go to 200,000, that's only 5%, right? So now all of a sudden that 17,500,000 divided by 2, now that's only 8,700,000 people in America that make 200,000 plus a year. How many of you will agree with this? That people that make $200,000 plus a year just have a different attitude than people that make 40,000 a year. And so when you find these people, they not only seem to have money, they seem to have drive, they seem to have a center of influence. They seem like they got all the things that is required to be successful in my industry, right? And so that's what I just want you to think about. Because when you talk about your country, if I ask, Ola, how many people are in Sweden, cut that in half of people that are real workers, then take 10% of that, and that's how big your deal is. So I don't remember what Joshua told me, but I think Joshua Darmella from Nigeria told me there are like 21 million people in Nigeria. So again, when I let him know, well, listen, that's 2 million people, and you should have seen his face. I seen him, he just put, yes, sir. I said, so there's 2 million people in Nigeria that they're right now spending almost all day, every day, thinking, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. I got to find the right person. I got to find, you see what I'm saying, you guys? Do you guys catch this? Now, have you ever heard the phrase, you become who you hang around? Okay, if you haven't, it's true. There's a phrase out there, take the 5 people that you spend the most time with, average their income, and that's usually what your income is, right? So how many people do you know that when they first get involved in this business, virtually everyone they connect with and everyone they talk to seem to be not really motivated? Everything sucks in their life. If you don't believe it, just ask them. They're a little bit of learned hopelessness. They're professional blamers and victims. If you find yourself consistently connecting with those people, the very first thing that you need to do is get them on a Zoom and show them a theoretical example to get them excited about introducing people to you that are in this upper levels, right? So you guys have heard me talk about this before, but I will work and inspire a 2 to find a 4, to find a 6, to find an 8, to find a 10. And so that's what I wanted to share at the beginning before answering questions. Because if you spend all day, every day doing nothing, but just looking for interested people at the right time in the right place, that's why my mentor said, A, get excited. And then B, say as little as possible to as many people as you can, as fast as you can. Because when you find interested people, those people will drive over you to get the right information. All right. So Craig, back to you.
Fantastic. What a great message to get us started here on this AMA. Before we do get started, though, we got several people here. I see lots of hands raised. Kai, Mary, Sharon, Bob, John, you guys we're gonna get started here in just a minute. Thank you so much. Just wanted to say thank you very much to James Saunders and Jody Falcon. They donated. If you want to donate to the causes that Robert supports, and all the money that you donate will go to those causes. If you're watching us on YouTube, it's very simple. There's a button at the bottom of the chat. It's a $ inside a square. Click on that button, and then all the money that we receive will go towards these organizations that Robert supports. And thank you. Thank you so very, very much. All right. On that note, let's start opening it up for Ask Me Anything with the amazing Robert Hollis. I'm going to go ahead and let's get started with John Tier.
Okay.
So let's see, where are you, John? There you are. John, why don't you go ahead and open up and please share with us.
Hey.
Hi, John. How are you?
Oh, man, I am just tremendously blessed, man. Tremendously blessed.
Awesome.
Had an epiphany on something that seemingly is unrelated, but the more I thought about it, it really showed how it really was interconnected in what I'm doing. And it shifted my mindset quite a bit. I'll tell you this, what happened to me yesterday. I was going to go over to the dollar store, and I got there and it was closed, and it was like afternoon. I was like, why is this thing closed? So I said, you know what, I'll just find, a store close to where I'm going. Well, as I'm driving, something says, you should stop at the Walgreens. I was like, I will never go to Walgreens in this neighborhood. I grew up over here. That's why I don't go for this Walgreens. So I said, you know what, I'll Spirit's telling me go here. So I'll go. So I get out the car, and as I'm going into the door, there is a man laying on the ground, kind of sitting on the ground, and he's loud. And he's saying that I only have $3 and I need more money so I can go get me some church's chicken. That's what he's saying. He was really being specific, and it would kind of caught me off guard for a minute. And so I heard it, and then I heard something else, and a scripture came to my mind, and it reminded me of Bartimaeus when he called out to Son of David, and so it just kind of rang in my mind. And so when I went in, I said, you know what, I'm going to give him something when I come back out. So I, get in line, buy my stuff, and the guy gives me change because I use money this time instead of the card, And then the guy closed his drawer, and I was like, oh man, I was hoping he would, give me 2 5s instead of a 10. And so I thought to myself, nah, this guy's not going to be able to open his drawer. He turned around, pressed the button, no problem. And I said, wow. And by the way, I could still hear the guy outside saying, I need money,
Yes.
So I got the money, and I said, okay. So when I went out there, I gave him the 5, and all he did was praise God. He just said, oh God, oh God, oh God. And he stood up, and he just kept saying, oh God. He had his hands raised, and all the way down the street, that's all he was doing, was just praising God. He was just saying, oh God, oh God, oh God. And I just thought about that. I thought about that all night long. First of all, there was a sense of peace and joy and happiness that came over me. And then there was a kind of a bewilderment. You're like, man, that was really amazing to me, because I just didn't expect it. I didn't expect it, because when I drove out the parking lot, he was still going down the street with his hands up, and he was still praising. And I was like, wow. And this morning I was kind of thinking about it, and I said, wow, if $5 made that much difference in his life, how many other people out there are looking for what we have that can make a big difference in their lives?
Yes.
We just have to be receptive and really look for those people And I realized that for myself, whenever I say, well, how long is this going to take? When is it going to be me? I realize now that that's coming from a point of view of what's in it for me and not who can I help.
Right.
And when I just keep thinking about that guy, it was like, wow, if just that little bit of compassion, I have to shift my thinking a whole lot. And I know, Robert, you had said that maybe it's the universe keeping it from you, but I think it's us keeping it from ourselves.
Right. Right.
Because the moment we say it's the universe, then we got something to blame, according to
Yeah.
what you said the other day. And that gives away our power.
Yeah.
And it's not that. It is really, for me, I'm learning that it's probably our lack of compassion. Because the only way to really have a mindset of helping people is that you got to have a compassionate mindset.
Right.
And just that situation, I thought I was doing something just for him, but I believe God was showing me something about me.
That's beautiful.
So that's what I wanted to say today. That was it.
Well, John, thank you for sharing that with me. It was like, I remember one of those aha moments for me, like, Craig was so gracious to talk about people lighting up, when I said, well, I don't like setting goals, because usually goals for people are always something to do with some kind of financial thing. So, most of the questions are asked, what would you like to have as your gross income, a year from now, 2 years from now? And I've always been not motivated by money. I'm not money motivated. And so when I ran into an individual that just understands how to help people just reframe the way you think about things, it opens up everything.
Yeah.
And so you can actually ask yourself, what is something that would make me think about this situation differently?
Mm-hmm.
What could change my paradigm? What could change my outlook of what's happening? And the second that I said that to somebody and someone said, well, why don't you set your financial goals on giving?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you write down the people that you want to give to and how much you want to give to them? Well, then there's a phrase that I learned. Then what you do is you tell the world, and then you figure it out. See, the other people try to figure it out before they tell the world. So I've shared with people that really are struggling with making money because they're not money motivated, is go to your church or go to your school or go to something that makes a world to you, and then ask them what they need money for. And let's just say that you're a member of a church and you walked in there and they said, well, we want to build a new playground for, the church, a new park, a new playground. Then have the courage to ask how much. And they say, well, we need like $130,000 to, secure the property and buy this, build this playground out. And just say, great, you can count on me. And see, from that point on, your paradigm is, I could reach out to Sharon and say, hey, Sharon, you got a minute? Yeah. Listen, I've made a commitment to do my very best in getting money for this playground for children. And one of the ways that I know that I can make money outside of my job is this new business that I'm doing. Is there any way that you could take a look at it and help me find people that need to make some extra money, working a few hours whenever they want to? So the whole framing now. So as soon as honestly, it's like I've never lost my enthusiasm and excitement. In fact, it's gotten bigger. The first time that, a company sent me a check for 10 grand 37 years ago, I was going like, this is not available in the job world.
Right.
As far as my knowledge.
Right.
So that $10,000 check was like a gold bar to me. And I still understood the basics of this industry, that it was still about numbers. Because I always talk about, there's a guy, I think his last name is Dice or something like that. But there's a video I always tell people when it comes to sorting. He's from Canada and he's got a 1 ounce gold piece. a 1 ounce gold piece. And so he's standing on the beach at a Starbucks, and people are walking up and he's saying, hey, listen, is there any way you would give me like $10 or $20 for this 1 ounce gold piece? You know, and he says, I just want to get a Starbucks. And the number of people that said, no, thank you. I just have credit card. I don't have any money. No, thank you. No, thank you. Is that real? And it's like, none of them really realized that a 1 ounce gold piece, whenever he did the video, was probably $1,400 to $2,000. And it's like, you know, it doesn't make a difference if you have a 1 ounce gold piece that's worth $1,500. If you went out and directly tried to approach people on social media or live, you're still going to have the majority of the people tell you, get away from me. I don't want to take advantage of it, whatever. You know what I mean? And that's the whole thing that I started with. If you just focused on talking to interested people, because if you're going to be doing things, it would be neat, because that one of them said this. Let me look at it. And they looked at it and went, how long are you going to be here? Because see, if I didn't have cash on me,
go get it.
I'd be getting cash. You see what I mean? And I even watched one person, because you got to show some kind of success from this, right? And so they showed one person go, I'll be right back, because I think he was asking for $10 or something like that for a cup of Starbucks, right? You watched a guy go over to a group of people, and he had a $20 bill. And he was walking up to people just asking them, do you got change? Do you got change? Do you got change? Because he was holding the $20 bill, and then he finally got someone to give him, you know, change for the $20 bill. And if he was smart, he would even say, you know, listen, anyone want to give me $10 for this $20 bill? See what I mean? Because you got to find value in getting the people to go into action. And the story, he got the 10 and he came over and gave him the $10 bill, and the guy gave him the gold coin. So there's a lot of people that always think, well, you know, no one's ever going to do that. But thinking in a mindset that I want to create value and I have an opportunity that can change people's lives, instead of I want to close someone or recruit someone to get them in and buy stuff so I can get paid. Huge difference.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mr. Tier.
All right. And thank you guys for all the love that you guys showed. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Great spectacles, man, by the way. I know you've had them for a while, but they look great on you.
Thank you.
You bet.
John, thank you so much. What a great story. Congratulations on that. Wow. Okay, Robert, before we go to the next person,
Sure.
Peter and Linda has had a question that they shared. Can you tell us the website you use to dub your videos to another language using AI? And I don't know if you know that or if Matt knows that.
You know who knows that answer.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Matt, if you're here, could you share that with us, please? He says he'll find it. Okay, we'll share that with Peter and Linda later on. In the meantime, thank you very much, Matt, and thank you, Peter and Linda. We'll come back to you with that answer. We'll go ahead and go over to Coach Bob, who has his hand up. Thank you so much, Coach Bob, for waiting. Please unmute yourself and share it with us.
Hey, great story, John. I really appreciated that. And hey, Craig and Matt. Hey, Robert. Love and appreciate
Bob, how
you.
are you today?
Always love talking to you. Great. Awesome. My question, just a quick one for you. Cool. I want to get your thoughts on why people fail at this industry, and does the sponsor have a lot to do with that?
Oh, yeah.
To them quitting. So if you could kind of go over that a little bit.
Yeah,
just one quick question.
The number one reason that people do not succeed at everything in their lives, everything, is they simply don't believe that they can do it. It's just a lack of belief. That's why that one saying is so powerful. If you knew for a fact, guaranteed, that you couldn't lose, that you wouldn't fail, what would you attempt to do?
Do it.
That's where that phrase comes from. And so the second part of your question is through showing people a theoretical example, like I show in the 5,000,
Right.
is I get them to dream a little bit, and I ask them if they made this money, what would they do with it? And if they made this amount of money, what they would do with it? If they made this amount of money, and I'll go all the way to the end. Of course, I think the theoretical is around 20 grand a month. And then what I'll do is I'll circle back and say, what if we did half of this? And what if we did half of that? And what if we did half of that? So you reduce it to the ridiculous. And then you say, hey, Bob, do you realize in this theoretical example that you and I work together to find two people that wanted to make more income? Now, just like working out at a gym, that's a $35 billion industry, spa memberships.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, so that's a big industry. How many people get a membership actually go?
50?
No, I know this as an honest. There's a guy, Stan Winhorn is his name, and he ran a bunch of gold gyms in California. And he told me that the idea is they'll sell 10 times the membership of the maximum capacity of the gym.
So 10%.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, basically, right? 10.
Still comes down to that same number.
Wow.
And so if a facility pack could handle 200 people, they're selling 2,000 memberships.
Wow.
So again, why wouldn't someone show up at a gym? It's got to be all mental, right?
Right. Yeah.
The same reason that people won't go out their door and walk for a mile.
Right.
Yeah, it's just, that's it. So does the sponsor have something to do with that? For anybody that's watching this live or recorded, Kai could address this, I know. Is that how many people hire a personal trainer? And then, all the personal trainer wants is just show up, man. If you just show up and make the effort to come in and shake my hand or give me a hug, that's going to be a good day. It's just going to be a good day because your ass showed up. And so I think a lot of personal trainers don't have a problem getting clients. It's keeping them.
Yeah, right.
So if you don't find a way to do a theoretical example where you can mentally keep them in the game, it just says, listen, if you found one person that wanted to make a full-time income, I'll give you guys just a quick scenario, especially with brand bucks. With brand bucks, you get paid one level deep, correct? How many people know that? One level check matching. Here's a true story in my organization. There's a girl named, her first name escaped me, Christine Woodman. And if you guys haven't heard this story, I'll tell it quick. She's made over $300,000 with MDC.
Wow.
And she's never gone higher, I think, than 1K. Because she introduced me to a lady named Deanna Stevenson and her husband, Phil. And they went to 50K. So they not only hit 50K, they built a large organization. So every time they got paid their residual check, let's say it's $10,000, she would get 30% of that from bringing in one person. So if you guys look for that one person and they got in and started going bananas, you'd be able to afford one of these. And then you'd eventually be able to afford one of these. Now you're getting paid 2 levels deep. Then you'd be able to afford one of these and get paid 4 levels deep. Are you guys following me? And as you upgraded, then you would only have to have this on subscription, and you'd get paid 4 levels deep for the rest of your life on somebody else that's building a humongous organization. So that's why your focus needs to be, who do you know that is positive? Who do you know that's like a leader? Who do you know that's a great storyteller? Who do you know that if you show up at a party, usually there are a group of people around that person, because they're not only loud, but they tell the great jokes. Who is the person that you guys know that if you're already at the function where a group of people are, and they walk in the room, it's weird that just for a second, everyone stops, goes, here comes Bob. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're really incredible givers. You know, I love saying all these things that are like, they're thought provoking. They're memory joggers, right? I'm jogging your memory. Who is the person that should have a bumper sticker? You know, the person with the most toys wins. And they got them. You know, so they got the fifth wheel, they got the, side by side, they got the wave runners, they got the pontoon, they got the ski boat. And if you find people like that, you guys will notice that they're the kind of people that they're actually just allowing other people to enjoy them. They're usually not the one that's actually using their own thing, unless it's a big boat or big pontoon. But they're taking people out to go skiing or pull an inner tube or something. They're also usually in a lot of little functions. Like they'll be, they're on a bowling league, they're on a dart league, they're also on a pool league. You know what I mean? They're just awesome people, man. They're living life to the fullest. You find someone like that, they already have money. They understand time. They can prioritize their time. They never say they're too busy, ever, because they know they don't look at time, they create time. If you notice people that have control of their life and have freedom, if you ask them, hey, I know you're busy, they always say, I'm not busy. I do what I want when I want to. You know what I mean? So you want to find people that have already reframed their personal development where they're always like the life of the party or whatever. And then the last important thing that they have is, man, they have influence over people. They have so much influence over people, and they don't even know it. They don't need to use it. So they're the kind of people, and every one of you got to find this person. You got to visualize and find this person. This is the kind of person that calls people up and say, hey, Bob, you got a minute? And they go, you got my credit card, I'm in. No kidding, man. You guys got to know that you can ask Matthew. Every time I gotten involved in a new company, there's this group of people. It's like, listen, you don't need to call me. Make sure you put me in before you recruit the rest of the, 20, 30,000 people. Yeah, you don't, just put my ass in there.
I would be one of those guys. I won't do that. Right.
And so, yes, a sponsor can make a huge difference, because the goal in this is like, it's funny. I love when your title, Coach Bob. It is the biggest thing that you can do with another human being is exactly what Craig talked about. It is the things that I've excelled at my life is people that have gotten to know me a little bit. And I mean, for a couple of minutes, and for whatever reason, they're going, oh my God, you're going to kill this. You're just going to crush this and go straight to the top. There's nothing better than a word of encouragement.
Right.
So a lot of people might say, Robert, do you say that to everyone? If they followed the certain way in the theoretical example, yeah. I've taken people that thought they were nobodies and put them in the millionaire circle. Yeah, it's just, so the first question is, I would probably even say something like that, Bob. It's like, what could I say or do to get you to believe that you could do this? So it would be like if we were playing darts. I'm going, Bob, listen, I know this is going to sound silly, but if you stand behind this line and you throw at that circle, I don't know how many darts you got to throw, but you will get a bullseye. I know that for a fact. It's just, you got to believe that a bullseye is possible from your hand. And if you believe that, then that's the vision that you need to continue to keep throwing.
Got it.
Because what's great about bullseyes is, what if I could do it consistently? What's after doing it consistently? Wouldn't it be neat? I actually have seen, that's why I tell people you got to watch videos of other people that are inspiring. Because when you watch the World Championship of Darts, which people make millions of dollars a year doing it, they can throw 3 darts in a pattern of a P, which is smaller than the bullseye. So when they're playing 801 or whatever, because they had to raise the limit because these guys were going out in 2 rounds playing 501, and you see an audience with thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and these guys are built like me, you know what I mean? And they're drinking great big jugs of beer, and they're walking up to the line, and you hear these announcers go, triple 20, triple 20, triple 20, 180. And the whole, I'm going like, holy crap, man. These guys are like, and it's just like any other sport. It's like bowling, pool, whatever. It's usually the person, cornhole. It's the first person to make a mistake where the whole audience goes, oh, damn, he didn't get a strike. It's like, because you get a strike, you don't get a strike, there's only one other worst thing. And that's an open with no spare. And you do that and the whole team goes, match is over. Because that's how damn consistent these people are.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you hit the cornhole bag, you know what I mean? And it doesn't go in the hole, and it's sitting halfway in. People are like, damn. I thought Bob was going to pull this off, but the other guy's going to sink 3 in the hole without touching his freaking bag. So I hope that helped you, Bob. So,
oh yeah, the theoretical, I really got to concentrate on doing that with them.
I tell people,
right
now, maybe I'm a weirdo. I'm just going to tell you guys, I know I'm a weirdo, right? I'm just looking for other weirdos and misfit toys, right? I put everything aside to be focused and intense and watch my last video on how to create 5,000. And it's not the one with the graphics. It's the one where I'm actually using a Sharpie to write on a piece of paper.
Okay.
And there's not too many videos that I watch of myself and go, that is freaking on the money. That's right on the money, because there are videos that I watch that I know that I want to redo. I want to redo. I want to see if I can't make them better and gooder and gooder. And it's that one and the oldest video I think I have online that I still can't find it in my heart to reproduce or redo is the professor. So I'll watch that every once in a while, and I'm going like, I'm not deleting this video. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I believe one day that I could get as good, but that's still the second most viewed video that I have online. So, Bob,
thank you, Robert.
You, man.
Love and appreciate you. Craig,
Love and
thanks.
appreciate you.
Everyone.
Cool.
Bob, thank you
Thank you.
so very, very much. Appreciate you, man. Okay. Let's see. Just wanted to let Peter and Linda know that they acknowledged it, but just to let everyone else know that Matt did answer that question about the using AI. It's in the chat in Zoom, that link. So just letting everybody know.
I wanted
As
to
we
say,
move,
too, sorry, Craig, but
go
I wanted to
ahead,
say too
Matt.
that it's definitely not the cheapest option out there. There might be better ones, but it's definitely the best as far as translating into the language with the voice being the same and the mouth movements and stuff. So it's called Hey Jen. I posted it in chat. They do a few other things too. If you train it with enough videos, you can just make a video version of yourself with your voice. Just tell it what to say. So
Are you serious?
yeah, they're getting there. They're getting there. It's pretty crazy. So if you guys see Robert Hollis videos in Hungarian, he doesn't speak Hungarian.
So are you telling me, Matt, listen, are you telling me, Matt, that you keep feeding videos of me into it? And then eventually what you could do is just put up a script of what you want me to say in the language that you want me to say it, and it just does it?
Yeah. No, believe it or not, you can actually make an avatar of a mix of people too, and you can make videos with them, have them say whatever you want, upload them to YouTube. There's a large group of things that's growing right now with AI, with Stable Diffusion and a few other things, where eventually you'll be able to get on webcam and look like a completely different person. So,
well, this will really stop people from. Yeah, so you're telling me that someone else could use my videos and train me and then use scripts for me to do videos for them?
yeah, I mean, it's going to get to a point very quickly. Like we're pretty much almost there already. If you guys haven't seen the fake ads from people like Joe Rogan or Tom Hanks or something like that, and of course there's so many shots and ways of them talking that it's easy to replicate. Say it's just you, right? And you don't ever record videos of yourself. It's going to be harder. But for someone like you, Dad, that does videos every single day, it would be easy to train an AI to look and act like you and have it say what I'd want it to say. But I think to a certain extent, it's kind of a waste of time and resources right now, but eventually it will be cheap enough to do even the stuff that I was sharing with the Spanish translation. If you go to the website, I mean, it's not the cheapest thing in the world, and I only recommend doing it if you really, really need to. Like we still haven't even put our feet in that pool necessarily yet.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, even though I'm sharing it, that if you think if I just go translate all my videos to Spanish, that then my group will grow. That's not the way that it works. So
yeah. If you
don't spend hundreds of dollars to do that if you don't need it. So
thanks, Matt.
Yeah, no problem.
Matt, thank you. And Corky, I did put the link in YouTube, so it's there as well. Just look up a couple of chats.
Now for Corky, that might be a great idea.
Yes, exactly. Santa Corky. Go Santa Corky. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. I see we have 4 more people with hands raised and another question, Robert. So 5 more. We can squeeze those guys in?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, fantabulous. Sharon Zeman, you're next, but first just want to let everyone know Veronique, Ola, Kai, and Mary, you guys are coming up. So Sharon, let's go ahead and ask you to open up and please share with us.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So I have a couple of things. First thing is, after a week, my book fell apart for doing the homework assignment. And so I was kind of wondering, like, I know there's times where I was too tired to actually read. So I did the Wanda K video. And I actually kind of fell asleep a couple times. But is that enough to do the reading and the video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if it had to be just the reading.
No, what the whole key, honestly, if in this example of, the greatest miracle in the world, it's not only the stuff in it, Sharon, it's that if you can really do something for 100 days in a row and not miss, you become the miracle. You become the miracle. And here's why. Your mind goes, oh my God, I pulled that off. What else could I pull off? A really funny situation with my wife and I in bed last night. we hold each other and we kiss each other goodnight, ask each other if we had a great day. And then I roll over and put my neck pillow on and we listen to Bob Proctor's meditation, right? And we were tired. Oh my God. Yesterday, we spent almost half of the day putting in 2 new garage door openers, and my shoulder hurts. And man, it was, it was pretty funny. Me and gotta thank Kyle for it. So we were pretty exhausted. And my wife put her head on the pillow and I hit my phone and turned it on. And she goes, hello, I'm Bob Proctor. My wife was like laying her head on the pillow. I got some ideas about abundance I would like to share with you. I was going, we all know that you all memorized a happy birthday song. You guys all memorize certain songs that are seen to be very important to you. What if you memorized a meditation on abundance by Bob Proctor? You see what I mean? And it's weird that when we're not paying attention, like you said, you fall asleep, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of interesting that, the things where my mentor first showed me the programming is when he said, he stood in front of large audiences when he did this one training, and he would go, okay, you guys ready? And he'd go, pop, pop.
Fizz,
And the whole audience would go, pop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. And then he'd go, wait a minute. You never sat down in front of these commercials and said, I'm going to remember this.
True.
And guess what? They made it simpler. If you guys want to know how fast you can get in someone's mind, so you hear a sound, ding, 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 ding. You know what I mean? People go, what is that? Intel? You know what I mean? So, I'm loving it. How can you program I'm loving it in people's minds and I got to go get some fries at McDonald's? You know what I mean? It's the real thing. It's like, so yes, Sharon, it's creeping in there. It's creeping in there. And it's just the consistency of doing something at a certain time for 100 days where we can totally reprogram our whole day. One of the funniest things that I've had people say to me, this is funny for me, big time. But I remember it as I started doing this business, is all of a sudden someone would ask me a question and then I would say something back to them and they would respond the right way. And I go, oh my God, that was my mentor. That was Bill Gould in my head of listening over and over and over. And so I've had a lot of people over the years reach out to me and they said, I pulled a Hollisism on this person. It's like, what would Robert do? I mean, it's like, so all of a sudden you see people that pull out this stuff. And I mean, that's funny for me, but it is extremely humbling. And that someone says, I don't know what to say, but what would Robert say in this instant? And someone told me that there was this guy they were doing a live event, and this guy walked up and was just listening, and a whole group of people, they said like 10 people. And then this guy asked one of these questions in a group of 10 people, and the guy said he didn't know the answer. And so he pulled off a Hollisism. And he said he immediately got respect from everyone there. And this guy just said something like out of nowhere, Sharon. Like if I said to you, you know, why do they make the labels green and gold on FFX? It'd be like one of these questions where this person is trying to gain attention and control over the conversation. And they're sort of being just a jerk, really. And he said, I didn't know the answer. And then I looked at him and I said, you know what this is? And the guy goes, no. And he goes, that's an exact circumference of an esophagus of a sperm whale. And everybody looked at him weird. And the guy looked at him weird. And he goes, what does that have to do with anything? Exactly what your question has to do with anything. Can I continue talking to the rest of the people? And all of them just went, damn. How fast that person took control back over that conversation. Because they were going like, the other one I've said, you know, do you know how much shingles cost for a doghouse in Australia? And they're going like, what? And I go, well, it looks to me like you're playing a game here where you ask questions that are insignificant, that have nothing to do with anything, to see if you can stump me. So I bet you don't know the price, do you? That has nothing to do with our conversation, but I just want to play the game. Now, do you have a real answer? Like, what would be a real question? A real question is, once you're making millions of dollars a year, is there a way to hide it from the government? That might be a future question. I'm joking, Zoom. I'm joking. Joking, Apple. I'm joking. I pay my taxes. So did that help, Sharon?
Yeah, that helps for that. Yeah.
I'm proud of you, man. I'm really proud of you. You guys find anything that you can do for 100 days in a row at the same time and watch what happens to your life. Watch what happens to your life. So I'm proud of you. Proud of you.
So then the other thing is, I noticed a lot of times when I'm trying to add friends on Facebook that it says I don't know them.
Right.
So then I noticed, you know, like why Mary went to the mutual friends, because it allows you, because there's the setting that you could put on your Facebook that only allows friends of friends to request.
Yeah.
So that makes sense for that. But at the same time, there's some groups out there that I want to be separate from the other, like kind of go off to the side.
Sure.
And I noticed, I'm getting really discouraged, but there's a lot of scams, a lot of fake accounts. Like it's just overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah, it is. I believe, Sharon, that virtually everything in life has to do with our ability to knock out the noise, to knock out the chaos. When there's things that distract you and still trigger you, you got to really figure that out. Because when I first started in this industry, it really seemed to me, I was just the kind of individual that was so plugged in with so many people in survival mode, victim mode, learned hopelessness mode. It was like it seemed when I was younger that everything triggered me, and not in a good way. I think triggered for a reason, right? And it was my ability to just ask myself, I don't understand why that triggers me. Why does that take me out of my zone? You know what I mean? If I'm really in this light colander of joy and in the right frequency, attracting the right people in that same frequency. You know, why does these things get me triggered and pull me out? And that's when you've got to sort of dig a little deep and say, why does this bother me? Why does this make a difference to me? And I'll never forget, I used to be one of those people, I don't have my cell phone here, but I've shared it on other videos. But I was one of those people that had to answer every email, or at least look at it, right? Yeah. If you looked at my phone today, I think the last time I showed it, there's like there's 200,000 emails that I've never opened.
Yeah, if somebody asks me a question or something, I'm always the person that I have to answer. Even
Right.
at work, it's like, I can't understand why they're not answering me. Because I'm sending them stuff and I'm just like, answer me. I answer you.
Yeah. So if you could see how fast I can scroll through a few thousand emails, just looking for the stuff that I want to respond to.
Yeah, I can do that for emails. Like for my personal email, I can do
Okay.
that.
Okay, good. See,
Yeah.
so don't you think that's a good step to from where you were when you first got email?
Yeah.
Proves to
over
yourself
100
that you can do it, right?
Yeah, I have over like 100,000 emails that I don't.
So it's this constant barrage of distractions, ADD, always dealing with distractions, that we not only need to not allow us to get distracted, to focus on our priorities, to get things done that we need to get done, that are important for us and our family, but it's also to become aware that there's certain things that knock us out of that frequency.
Oh, yeah.
I've never had this thought before in my mind, but talking to you, I get mental dumps all the time. And it would be like if you and I were driving in the car and I consistently turned the channel to music that irritated you. And so you wouldn't say nothing unless you knew you could trust me. And then if you knew that you could trust me, you would ask, can we turn it to something else? And then if you trusted me more, you wouldn't ask me, you would just turn the channel. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
the more that you would trust me is you go, well, Robert's a pretty laid back guy. He doesn't get distracted very much. So I'm going to switch it to my channel and see if he just plugs right into the groove. And I would.
Got it.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So when someone changes the channel and it irritates you, but when you change the channel, it doesn't irritate them. They're not saying they're better than you. They're just at a different frequency than you.
Yeah.
And I'm still, 61 years old. And I'll still say to myself, why does that trigger you? I just keep getting better and better and better on things that used to really, really upset me. And they're like, it's not even water on a duck's back. I don't feel it at all. To think that you could take something that would trigger you, that used to ruin my years, that turned into months, that turned into weeks, that turned into days, that turned into minutes, that turned into seconds, to now that same trigger today, Sharon, actually makes me laugh. It's like right now I got my pay-per-view MMA fights paused, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing funner than watching someone swing at someone. And it's like totally what you see in cartoons. It's like they're just like ninja thing. You know what I mean? And it just barely misses them. And they're like pointing at the person. They're laughing like, nice try. And it's like, that's just such mastery, because you get hit 10,000 times before you get there. You know what I mean? It's like you swing and got hit and swing and got hit. And it's like, people, George Foreman used to be one of the best commentators for boxing. And he would say the crazy outlandish stuff that, what was the Howard Cosell, for football, when people are so enthusiastic and exciting and they share the obvious, that's what makes it 10 times more funnier. And George Foreman, I'll never forget, it was a fighting match with Howard Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard. And he said, Hearns has got to stop blocking those punches with his face. And people are going, did he just say that? And he's like, if you're a good boxer, you should be moving your head or blocking it with your arms. You know what I mean? Stop blocking punches with your face. That would be a good place to leave this, because that's what people deal with in distractions.
Yeah.
The distraction comes at you. It just is what it is. Some people hate that statement, but it's like, when can it make like nothing to you? That you click on it and you feel nothing and you just go to delete.
Yeah.
You don't feel anything, just
yeah.
It's like, you're giggling, you're going, there's another person that's not aware. And we talked about this with a lot of people, Sharon, over the years, because the first part of you is offended, and then it's almost like you feel like you're God, and you got to teach them the right way to do this. This is the wrong way. Haven't you ever heard of how would you feel if, and how would you act if? Haven't you ever heard of that? Why don't you connect first? And it's like, right after you teach them a lesson, they send you another chapter of a book with a couple of links in it.
It's funny. But yeah, I've even told people, I'm like, I kind of miss the old times where, like, pre-internet, because it was just simpler. Like, it's too complex now. I want to sometimes just run off into like a field and build my house and be secluded from everything.
What if it wasn't complex?
That would be amazing.
You're looking at it. It's your perception.
Yeah. It's just those triggers.
Some people seem to understand internet and social media really well.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that are getting the mean tweets that they never see, that never bothers them. How can you stay focused and knowing that I'm going to continue to be transparent? I'm going to be me. I'm going to find the people that love my voice and what I have to share. And I'm going to focus on consistently attracting my people.
So, in other words, too, is, you talk about duplication too. And right. So, I'm trying to do it your certain way, like Mary, and then it almost seems like to get a following, you have to do videos. Like,
no, hell no.
Seems that way.
Again, that's your perception.
That's me. That's just me.
And whenever Dino goes off on you, right? Every time Dino goes off to you, I suggest, they used to say that they would lock people up for this, but I suggest with an open mouth, go, is that true? If you really want to take it further, the way my mentor taught me to say, is the current thing that you believe, is that true for everyone?
Oh, that's a good question.
And your mind will come back immediately and go, no. All right, so who isn't this true for? So there's a lot of people right now hating on Taylor Swift. Does anybody think that the haters are really upset at her, or do you think they're just jealous? I think that everybody on the planet, and I mean everybody, if someone said, well, that's the Sharon effect. Sharon effect? What the hell are you talking about? Oh yeah, every time Sharon touches anything, it turns into gold, just doubles and triples and quadruples. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing about Sharon.
But I'm not.
It's like, well, her concerts are full and people can't get a ticket. Yeah, but did you hear that there's 10,000 people in the parking lot? There's Swift Taylorgate parties now. Yeah. I can't get 10,000 people to show up to see my ass sing. and she's got 10,000 people in a freaking parking lot.
point.
This kid, can you see where the hating's coming from? It's just like someone looks and sees, is that a friendship bracelet? What the hell? You know, they're actually saying now that there's Swift bracelet. They said that there's parts of the world now that is taking the words friendship out of it.
Oh my gosh.
That's a Swift bracelet. It's a freaking friendship bracelet. Well, I know, but you know, Taylor Swift started that phrase. She did not. There was friendship bracelets way before. Can you see these people going? How many of you guys dream big enough where you want to say that there's going to be an Ola effect? You know what I mean? There's going to be a Kai effect. There's going to be a Sharon effect. And, you know, it is pretty funny that I do stupid things. And people like Jerome and James and people can, you know, I can go off on a video and Jody and just, you know, turn around and say, you know, something, are you kidding me? You know, and then all of a sudden you see people wearing t-shirts that say, are you kidding me? It's like, I think that's humbling as well, but it's also an incredible blessing that Craig keeps coming up with Hollisisms. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, gooder and gooder. I mean, I know that's got to irritate people that graduated from college with, you know, English or writing or whatever, and they got in this overweight auto mechanic with dyslexia, you know, saying gooder and gooder. But you got to sort of embrace yourself on that, right?
Yeah.
So I'll give you guys one other funny. The presentation that I'm doing at the end of this month for the Ascend deal in convention in Miami, it's the very first presentation that I think I've ever done that has a PowerPoint. And so there's even been people reaching out to me going, I heard you're using a PowerPoint. And they go, I thought you said you'd never do that. I said, well, wait till you guys see the PowerPoint because it has nothing but numbers on it. So people think that I'm going to do this big fancy PowerPoint. It's me, you know, drawing circles and numbers. You know what I mean? So yeah, you just got to learn to be you and love it.
Okay.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Sharing a hand. That is cool. That is really, really cool.
Sharon, thank you so very much. Before we continue, first of all, if you're watching us on or on YouTube, please hit the like button and also hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell with the subscribe button so that we can increase our subscribers. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you so much for being a part of our experience with Robert and for sharing all of these Hollisisms with everyone. The other thing I got to say, Corky Kinter. OMG.
What did he do?
He blessed us with a $100, well, $99.99 donation.
Thank you, Corky.
So
the orphans are going to love it. Craig, you just got to, every time I think about other people that we blessed, I know we blessed Corky when we did an interview with him or a podcast with him and Ron Henley, but a majority of this money all goes, 99% of it goes to orphans. So that Matthew and Angel take care of if you want to watch that podcast.
I'll go ahead and post up the Corky interview. I mean,
excellent.
Wow.
Thank you, Corky. I love you, man.
Love you, Corky. Thank you so very much. Let's go ahead and move on. We've got Veronique, Ola, Kai, and right now I'm going to call her our two-namer. Because if you look at her name in YouTube, she is Jody Falcon. But if you look at her name here in Zoom, she is Mary Martyr. Either way, she's a beautiful person. Mary, please unmute yourself and share with us.
I have such belly laughs, I can't stand it. Good exercise. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Matthew, and everybody. I guess I have a split personality now or something.
Hey,
But I've always been Jody here. All right, fine. So I'm split. Who cares? May I just piggyback for a minute or two on Sharon, which will lead into
Sure.
my question?
Sure.
So, Sharon,
How are you today?
I am blessed and highly favored, and I'm having so much fun with everybody.
Good, good, good. Awesome.
As are you. So, oh, Sharon, so don't feel bad that you have fallen asleep listening to the God Memorandum or listening to any guided meditation, because our subconscious mind is always awake. It's always absorbing. So
as long as your heart is pumping and your
correct.
chest is going up and down with breath, your subconscious is on.
Yes, you're all set. You're good to go. So don't feel, and congratulations. I did the 100-day challenge too. It was fantastic. I just want to suggest for any of you that are interested in raising your frequency and your vibration, on YouTube, put in the search chakra guided music meditations. So, for example, quantum physics has actually measured the speed of the atoms moving around and knocking into each other in our paper money. It is very similar to the frequency of our root chakra, which is at the base of the spine. So on YouTube, if you would like to cleanse and stimulate the root chakra, which will also stimulate this, anytime, whether you're awake, you're busy doing whatever, you're driving, you're cleaning house, you're doing your business, okay, even your 9-to-5 job. Listen to the guided music meditations for the different chakras. One that I listen to frequently is Nikola Tesla's 369. So with that said, that leaves, oh, Kai, you do too? Oh, apps, it is powerful. Like, I have 3 gratitude practices every day, and there's 4 ways to meditate. My afternoon gratitude practice is a sleeping meditation, also known as a nap. So I'll put in my earbuds and I'll put on whatever guided music meditation I want to listen to. And I'm telling you, in like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, my eyes open and I'm a whole brand new person. So with that said, of gratitude practices, Robert.
Mary, Jody, not to interrupt you, but when you become that new person, does that have a different name other than Mary and Jody?
I'm working on it.
I love you.
No. How about Bama Girl?
There you go. There you go.
Excuse me. So a lot of us are going to convention. Now they're traveling, road show, whatever. Now, when I hit the road and I go somewhere, my 3 daily gratitude practices are a little bit different than what I do here in my home.
Sure.
So Robert, when you have to leave Montana like 6 a.m. or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you describe for us if your gratitude practice is modified a little bit compared to the comfort of your home?
No, it truly isn't. It's just at different times.
Aha. Okay.
Yeah. So, I whenever I go on any trip or any traveling or whatever, we're already sort of mentally putting ourselves in a state that we're not normally in. And I tell people that, you usually get excited. You think about, I don't want to miss my flight. So even though you set like double alarm clocks, you still wake up before the alarm clocks. It's pretty funny how powerful our mind is. And Terry, always make sure that we're there 2 hours early before the flight leaves. So
Yeah.
this, she gets up an hour before that, to shower and make sure that she checks the packing that she did 2 days ago. I never have to worry about not being prepared with Terry. She's just she's days ahead. So her getting up and doing things at 3 and 4 in the morning allows me to sort of step into my routine normally at that time when I do it at 6:30 or 7. I haven't woke up with an alarm clock like hardly ever, because if we're doing anything, even if we're at convention, if we got to be there at 9, I'm a classic guy. You know what I mean? I could get up at 8 and walk out at 8:30 and be there at 9. Well, that's not Terry, right? So Terry doesn't sleep very well when she's excited about something. So she would be up early. And so that allows me, when she goes in and takes her bath or shower or whatever, that's when I do my prayer time and my meditation time. And I'm very consistent with doing the same things that I know make the biggest difference.
Perfect. Thank you. Oh, one more thing, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
So, myself and a couple of my business partners were staying at a condo in Miami, across the Miami River from the convention center. And my friend Steven owns the condo. So I'm going to ask him what restaurant near the convention center, if any of the inner circle peeps want to get together like we did in Nashville.
Very
That
cool.
was so fantastic. So inner circle, stay in contact with me, etc. I'll also, when I find out, I'll do like a general post on Facebook, and I'll tag Robert, so then everybody knows. I'll tag like Robert and Terry.
And I will always apologize to you guys in advance when I show up at these events. It's the only time that we usually get all the leaders and Josh and Jenna together.
Oh yeah.
So you guys will notice that, can you have lunch with us? Well, when would be the perfect time for a group of leaders along with the owners to get together? At
lunch.
Lunch.
Yeah.
And so
that's fine.
Yeah, if I'm open, you know what I mean? No problem whatsoever. But if you guys constantly stay in contact with Terry, regardless, sometimes with her mood, she just doesn't like to be a part of that.
Okay.
So yeah, I know that a lot of you got a chance to eat with her and spend some time with her in Nashville. That was cool.
It was so nice. But we could always do a breakfast too.
Yeah.
Because convention starts at 10.
No.
I understand. Okay, thank you, my love.
I was saying no for me on a personal level. The rest of you, I wasn't answering for you. But thank you, Jody. I love you. You're so sweet.
Thank you so much. Take care of you. You're very, very special.
You're very special. Thank you.
Jody Mary, thank you. Or Mary Jody, thank you.
Yeah, he was calling you Mary because of your title on Zoom usually says Jody. And
I know, I don't know why. Today it's saying Mary. What is that?
I don't know.
Well, the universe knows what person you want to be.
Okay,
Today.
fine. I'll take it. Just don't call me late for dinner.
There you go.
Okay, late for dinner. I mean, Mary. I mean, thank you so much. Let's see. I just wanted to share something with everybody because Melody Ryba just posted this in the Zoom chat. And if you're not familiar, like Robert and like many of you, the God Memorandum is very, very important part of the daily meditation. And this is quite an announcement that she's made. Today is my 2,622nd day in a row. And when I read it aloud, it was completely different impact.
Wow.
I would agree. When I read it aloud, it does have a different impact.
Because you hear yourself say it. I mean, you hearing yourself saying it in your mind is one thing, but when you read it out loud, it makes a difference.
Does.
So, congratulations, Melody. And I hope everybody, 30 days is not that much when you think about it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's quite a few years.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, bless you, Melody. Thank you so very, very much. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next person, Kai. We haven't seen you in a while, so welcome aboard again, and please unmute yourself and share with us.
I've been here almost every single weekend. I've been
But
here.
I haven't seen you on here with your hand raised.
Oh, well, 99% of the time, my questions get answered before I can even raise my hands up. So I'm like, okay, we're good. But
How you doing?
today,
How you doing, Kai?
I'm doing all right. Pretty good. Highly blessed and favored and deeply loved. Yesterday, received a great miracle that gave me a sigh of relief and a weight off my shoulders. It felt good.
Good.
To also answer your question, statement, piggyback about the personal training world, there's a lot of factors. One biggest factor is the glass ceiling factor. When you have we have so little time on a daily basis to make an income, and if you want to make more, you're in the catch-22.
Right.
Keeping clients is one thing, but trying to retain them for a long-term basis is another. You're not getting, there's no residuals.
Right.
So, but my question for you is, how do you deal with a person who overpromises and underdelivers, yet he constantly, here we go again. Yet he constantly approaches you almost every other day, leaving a long voice message. But he says he follows your lead, but
Yeah,
he does not get it.
well, in a good relationship, I know Kai, Melody, Craig, people that know me very, very well, my son, Bill, anyone that gets close to me, if you ever ask them if I've confronted them about something that made them feel uncomfortable, you will always get them say, yeah, that's a really good friend. That's a friend that will say, and you might start it by saying, hey, Kai, listen, on a scale to 1 to 10, how do you see me as a friend? And normally it'll be, 10. I would call you one of my good friends. Great. So in a definition of a friend, say I'm framing it correctly. In a definition of a friend, you should be okay with a friend saying something to another friend, calling them on their bullshit. So am I that?
I'm borderline tempted, trust me.
Yeah, okay. So you just
I
say
think
to
you know what
them,
I'm talking about.
yeah, you just say to them, am I that friend? Because I'll give you a neat example in a totally different framework, right? I have friends that are professionally single, right? I also have some really, don't get mad at me, some of you judgmental people. I have some really good friends that are gay. And I've had to say to them, on a scale to 1 to 10, how do you view me as a friend? And they'll go, I value you as one of my best friends. So now listen, you know how you can go to your grandparents or you do whatever, and someone says, listen, don't swear around the grandparents, or where we act different around other people only for one reason, because we respect them. And I'm really good at setting my friends up. They know what's coming, right? And I'm going, listen, because you're single and because you're gay, you say some very inappropriate things around me. That are definitely okay around your friends like you. Right? But just understand that if it's just you and me, and a woman walks by and you say some inappropriate things about her body or who she is or what she's dressing, I'm a happily married man for 40 years. I don't need you as my single friend to point stuff out to me. And they'll go, I never thought of that. Well, now you have.
It's funny because
so let's go to the next. Now that we framed that, Kai, you see where I'm going, right?
yeah. Mhm.
So Kai, between you and I, we're real. Let's just role play. Kai, you and I like you. You're a great guy on a scale to 1 to 10. Do you consider me a friend, and what level?
You to me, or me to
I'm
you?
asking you, yeah, about me.
12.
12. I feel the same way about you. And
Oh,
so Kai, since we have this kind of friendship, I know you know how serious my MDC business is to me. Right now, it's my ride or die. I'm focused on master affiliate. It's what I want to do. And if you're my friend and you value me at a 12, at a 1 to 10, you just need to stop talking about any other business other than MDC.
absolutely.
Now, if you're not involved in MDC, then we don't need to talk about it at all. Because if we were really good friends, we would only be talking about things that we're doing that's working and documented to help both of us win. So we know some of the best players in every sport in the world are sometimes teammates on opposite teams. They're not standing around going, hey, Kai, I just want you to know that the Philadelphia Eagles suck. You need to find a way to get off that effing team. See, this is not a conversation that we have. You need to come over to the Cowboys. See what I mean? And it's like, Robert, that's not the way it works.
Well, it's kind of funny because he made a comment. I sell hope. I sell opportunity. I sell freedom. I sell health. I responded back, why sell? Just give. His retort was, because they have to buy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's the difference between sponsoring and recruiting.
Yes.
So
I love that YouTube.
It's 100% okay, Kai, for you to tell somebody, listen, if we're going to continue to communicate, you got to respect my boundaries. And if you don't want to respect my boundaries, that's where the block button is. So one day when you go to look for me and you can't find me, that's me telling you what my boundaries are. And that's you proving to me that you don't respect them.
But I still want to rub it in their face when I go to the next big race.
Yeah, but here's what's awful about rubbing it into people's face. Is stupid people don't know they're stupid.
Yes, that is true. You can't fix stupid with duct tape.
Yeah, it's like the people that you are constantly bothering you about that. Do you notice that they never reach out to me? They don't reach out to me because they respect me. They know I would drop such a hammer on them. It's like, don't tell me stuff. Show me your back office. So they know I'm documentation beats conversation. So if we're in a race Every time I look at the tower when I'm going by, and my radio is I see P1. That's position 1. Until you go by me, I'm not listening to you. So in other circles, I'm not P1. So if you guys know anything about personal development, I consistently put myself in circles and groups where I'm position 55. I'm position 122. Because that's that saying, Kai. If you're in a room and you're the smartest person, you're in the wrong room. So, for the last number of years, I consistently learn and put myself in groups with people that have 1 million+ subscribers. And that's the only thought on my mind. So I'm hanging around people that got 1.4 million active people on subscription. And I log in my MDC back office. And sometimes, depending on the beginning of the month to the end of the month, is 17 to 20,000. That keeps me humble. That keeps me focused. I said to a person the other day, who inspires you more? A person that's made $1 million a year, or a person that's averaged $2,300 a day for 5.5 years? When you're ready to build a consistent, sustainable business that gives you security, let me know. Because here's one thing I know. I don't know a lot of stuff, but I know changing a company over and over and over and over and over and over again means that you're starting from zero and then you're rebuilding again.
The question is, does he know that?
that like Matt said, that's when you know that a fish is not aware of the water. So some people are addicted to hype. They're not addicted to facts. Bob Johnson's reached out to me numerous times and he went, yeah, I understand that some of these people went to this company. And when I look at their stats, I'm going like, I don't get it. I go, neither do I. And apparently they don't either. But if it's the company with the most hype right now, you know what I mean? And in that circle, it's like, golly, it's not sustainable. It's I don't know what it is, but isn't it crazy in sports or anything else that's measured? We get this, right? Do you know why there's a draft in the NFL? It's trying to make it fair. So if you're the Heisman Trophy winner and the number 1 pick going into the NFL draft, you got to play for the freaking worst team. You got to put a couple of years in with a shitty team before you get the league, right? And get drafted. So you just hope that you play the best you can among the worst players or the worst coach or the worst staff or whatever, right? In this industry, I mean, if NFL was like network marketing, it'd be like someone calling me up and saying, hey, you need to come over to the Minnesota Vikings. Have they won a Super Bowl? No. How old's the franchise? 100 years old? And you never won a Super Bowl? No, but it's exciting. It's exciting over here. And I'm like, what?
I've always said to myself, getting addicted to hype is like taking a generic Viagra. It may last for a minute, but it's just going to keep going back down.
So, it's like my mom, my biological mom, was a Viking fan because she grew up in North Dakota. And even Eric Worre, recently I seen Eric Worre wear a t-shirt, you know what I mean? And it had the Vikings on it. And the t-shirt said something like, if you really want to learn how to live with disappointment.
Absolutely.
But there's people out there that are soccer fans and baseball fans, and it's like, if you ask people why, Kai, you've heard me tell the story about the ham cut off on both sides. So you got the 4 generations of women all at a Thanksgiving dinner, and the little girl asks her mom, "Why do you cut the ends off the ham?" And she goes, "I don't know. I learned from my mom. Why don't you ask her?" And so she turns and looks at grandma and says, "Why do you cut the ends off the ham?" She said, "I learned from my mom. Why don't you go ask her? She's in the living room watching football." You know what I mean? And she goes in there and the little girl goes, "Great grandma, why do you cut the ends off my ham, ends of the ham before you cook it?" And she says, "Oh, my oven was small." So this is something that gets passed down generation to generation. No one bothered to ask why you do it. It's just a generation before me did it that way. So I can guarantee you, Kai, that the people that you're talking about got in their first company based on hype. They went to the next company based on hype. They go to the next company based on hype. And they believe the way to do business is be excited and just sell hype. So looks like Kai's rubbing his head about the wisdom of that statement.
Yeah, I think he's frozen. It just totally went, wow.
He went, "What do you think about that?" Like Arthur said.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Kai, thank you so much. And we just lost him. I think he was at his location that his internet is kind of in and out. Okay, so before we get to Ola to wrap up today, I have a question here from Veronique Bouchard. And she says, "Robert, how do you overcome the objection of someone telling you they are not interested in working and having someone earn from the work they do?"
Again, if you're sorting, I would say, I get it. Do you know of anyone that doesn't mind having people make money off of them? I really would just repeat the question. I know every day I went to a job being a mechanic, and I know by being a mechanic, the service writer made money off of me. The service manager made money off me. The parts manager made money off me. The general manager of the whole dealership made money off me. And the owner of the company made money off me. So I would rather have people make money off of me than not have a job to earn money to pay rent and take care of my family. But I understand that people like you don't want people making money off of you. So how long have you been without a job? Hey, you guys, it's not that I'm trying to sell anybody. I always just want to make people go, I want to be unforgettable. Is that too bad? I want to be one of those people that challenge people's thinking. I want to be one of the people that go, did that guy just punch me? I don't know if he punched me, but that didn't feel very good. You know what I mean? So.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Veronique Bouchard, for that question. Let's go ahead and move on to Ola Meyer out of the Scandinavian areas. Ola, go ahead, open up, and please share with us.
Hello, Robert.
Hello, Ola from Sweden.
Hello. First of all, I want to say before this AMA, I saw this interview you did with a woman. I don't remember her name now, but it was fantastic.
Callie.
And anyway, I actually asked Robert, can I do an interview with you? And he like, yeah, I would love that. So thank
Ola,
you
you're
very
not
much.
Ola, that was a gift for you. You can't tell everyone that I can do an interview with them.
Ah, sorry.
No, I'm kidding, Ola. I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing an interview with you.
Yeah, love it. You are so down to earth. I love you for that. But
I love you too.
anyway, my question is like most people in personal development or network marketing, everybody loves Jim Rohn. And I know that you have met Jim Rohn. So my question is, how was it?
I didn't quite catch the name of the person you said.
I think he's referring to Jim Rohn.
Oh,
Yes, exactly. How was it to meet Jim Rohn?
yeah, I got to meet him numerous times, and I knew him personally. And believe it or not, if you guys want to know my attempt at being down to earth, humble, sincere, transparent, that totally comes from him. Totally comes from him. And I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a lot of interviews out there where Tony Robbins talks about directly that Jim Rohn was his mentor as well. So yeah, it's still something that I'm chasing, Ola, because it's such a big goal. When Jim Rohn died, they sold tickets to a tribute for Jim Rohn in LA. And Tony Robbins was there, Les Brown was there, Zig Ziglar was there. I mean, it was like the who's of who was there. And yeah, that guy made a hell of an impact, He also, the thing that he said to me that was the most impact was he told me, Robert, this was probably, I don't know, 6 months before he died, is he said, Robert, just always remember you'll die twice in this world. One when you stop breathing on this planet, and the second time is when people stop saying your name. And he said, so Robert, always push to get as much wisdom and knowledge out there as you possibly can, so no one forgets your name.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, Ola. Yeah, he is the other compliment that I give about Jim Rohn, and you guys can go to YouTube and put his name, ROHN. The other thing that I really love about Jim Rohn is I call it content per minute. There is no one that I've ever listened to that puts more wisdom into the shorter amount of words than anybody I have ever met. He's just amazing. And I've only heard 2 audios of Earl Schoaf, and Earl Schoaf was the same way. That was Jim Rohn's mentor. Earl Schoaf's mentor was a guy named Rich Snackenberger. So, it's too bad that there wasn't a video or an audio on these people all the time.
Yeah.
But in the interview that, I don't know if you've seen the interview that I did with Ron Henley, but
yeah, I loved it.
Ron Henley was really close to Jim Rohn, really close to Jim. And so yeah, it's neat to meet people like that and see how much they impact the world, and they leave an incredible standard for us to, a lot of people are always trying to raise the bar, in a lot of situations. Jim Rohn was the bar. He just
Yeah.
Every time I watched him, I'll keep saying other compliments. One of the things that always blew me away about really good presenters, good speakers, was I couldn't hear him twice. So yes, I'm dyslexic, but my superpower is retention. I can hear something one time, Ola, and I got it. I got it. And so I would see certain speakers speak, and then if I seen them again, I could lip sync with them, which was a really big letdown for me, because this is not only a thought out speech that they wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote, but then rehearsed. You know what I mean? And so if I heard them a second time, I was sort of really let down. You know what I mean? Jim Rohn is not one of those people. So he said to me one time, he goes, Robert, you see those black boxes over there? I was going, speakers? And he goes, yeah. He said, do you realize that those speakers over there are delivering an incredible message? But if you went over and pulled the wires out from them, you can't hear anything. He said, so a speaker needs to be connected to an amplifier, and that amplifier needs to be connected to the message.
Yeah.
So, and getting in front of a room of people or talking to people one-on-one, if you can learn to be guided in your speaking, if you can learn to plug in to the ultimate message that's out there, and always give the message to the person or the people there. And he says, you'll know when you got it, when people constantly say, oh, I was watching one of Ola's video, and I swear to God, he was just talking to me. There was only one person that he did that message for, and that was me. That sets you a level. That's the level that, so there was a lot of things that he did that I'm consistently pushing forward to do. You know what I mean? And so some of you that have seen me on Inner Circle, that's when I do my best to plug in, because those people gave me permission, because they're giving $9.99 to orphans. That just gives me a little more permission to just go directly, to the source of what they need for a breakthrough.
Yeah. Can I ask, how did you meet him? Do you work in the same company, or do you meet him at an event, or?
No, I met him at an event. There was a number of people when I left my first company, Equinox, my mentor did that. I went on sort of a search for the hidden treasure, and the hidden treasure for me was I wanted to find out who my mentor learned from. And then I wanted to find out who those people learned from. And it didn't take long. It was only like 3 levels away when Larry Thompson and Larry Huff had been taught by Jim Rohn and a guy named Rich Snackenberger. So then I'm going, well, who else did these guys teach? So there's 2 kinds of students with every mentor and teacher. The ones that didn't listen and the ones that did. And that's where the phrase comes, success leaves clues. Yeah. So for me, documentation beats conversation. But you got all these people in this day and age, because of the internet, anybody can be a life coach, that there's a lot of people out there that are saying that they're documented in what they're doing, but there's no clues to it. What was really, really funny is that when I watch MMA fights, and that's why I love watching that along with NASCAR, every time they talk about anyone, they talk about lineage. They can't help, So this guy all of a sudden gets this guy in a move and he chokes him out. And he goes, well, he's a black belt, in jiu-jitsu underneath the Ola. And they go, Ola, yeah, the coach in Sweden? Yeah. And his coach was Gracie. Are you kidding me? The guy from Brazil? Yeah, that's who Ola learned from. So Ola left Sweden, spent 5 years with the Gracies in Brazil. That's why the guys kick ass. Yeah, he He studied and mentored under the best. And here's what's so crazy about what I'm talking about. You know, one thing that you never ever hear in any other sport or any other arena, but you hear it in network marketing and any other sport, people are extremely proud of their lineage. It's something they give praise and recognition and respect to. Isn't that crazy? So
Yeah, it should be.
you walk up to people and go, "Oh my God, that was an incredible move." Yeah, I learned that from Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
I learned that. You see a guy just win the world championship, and some of them give praise to God, and then the second words out of their mouth. I can't thank Ola enough. He's my coach. He's in my corner. He taught me that move. He made me do that move 1,000,000 times. They immediately gave praise and recognition to their team, their sparring partners, the name of the team that they're with. And in network marketing, we have a tendency in affiliate marketing that we attract a group of people that don't want to learn from anybody or give anyone praise and recognition from where they learn from.
That's weird. You should give props to the people you learn from.
Yeah,
So,
and here's what it's called: ego, edging God out. These people want to be a brand. They want to be, you know. So when I walk up to people, and I've done this, although you've seen me do a video of this, I'm sure Craig will post this. But I walk up to people and I go, "So if you love soccer, if you love what the rest of the world calls football,
yeah.
who's the GOAT? Who's the GOAT?"
I have to say Messi. Messi. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, so why do I say Messi? Documentation beats conversation. The other people that they say are as good or better than that guy is not holding those two trophies at the same time.
True.
You see what I mean? And so
Yeah.
other people can be better. They just don't have those two trophies. That's why they give away trophies. That's the reason they give away awards. That's the reason they give away rings. Is so we know that the rest of the people are lying.
True.
In this industry, I'll reach out to people and say, so in your opinion, in this industry that we do, who's the GOAT? If you're talking online marketing, if you're talking network marketing, if you're talking affiliate marketing, everyone out there doesn't know who the GOAT is. That is a freaking problem. And to think that they never ever thought to even look for the GOAT. I'm not bragging, but if there's anything that I brag about, Ola, when I left my mentor, I was on a 100% search to find who the GOATs were. And when I found them, they weren't doing anything I was taught to do. They were like doing the opposite of what I was taught to do. That's a mind mess up. That's a total mind mess up.
Did they do the opposite of what you learned from Bill Gold?
Yes.
What? I thought he was taught by Jim Rohn and,
He was, but he added an element called a 5-layer training that Tony Robbins stole from him. And everyone's goal was to promote Bill's trainings.
Okay.
People
Interesting.
Yeah. Other people, like Don Fela, when I read in his book, he's going, everything that I teach has to do with you helping another person get a check. and then teaching that person how to get their people checks and how to help those people get those people's checks. You have not duplicated in network marketing unless you've gotten checks for people 3 levels deep. Until you learn to do that, you do not know this industry because you never ever taught anyone duplication or leverage. You're not building and making money in network marketing if everyone in your frickin' group is not making income. That's not this industry. So he says, everything that I need to teach somebody to help someone else get a check and get them a check can be done in less than 2 hours. And if you watch me every time I train and I do the same 2-hour training, every time you see me and you get upset by that, it's because you're not making money mastering the 2 hours that I told you about.
True.
So what does everybody else do? Let's talk about personalities. Let's talk about NLP. Let's talk about closing. I mean, you know, all this training is good for the person that actually makes money off the tickets.
Yes.
But not to say anything negative about Tony Robbins, but Jim Rohn and Big Al Schroeder and Don Fela, they're still doing trainings today. Well, one of them is, but you can go on Big Al Schroeder's page right now and find him doing some training in the middle of nowhere in a city that's got a population of maybe 200 people. I'm not joking. And I think the training, if he hasn't changed it, it probably still costs $29 or $24. You know, there's other people.
I have seen him live.
Yeah, and there's other people out there. There's other people out there that you know, can we get someone for 10 grand? Can we get someone for 25 grand? Can we get someone for 50 grand for training?
Yeah.
So, Ola, I got to get
Thank
going,
you.
but man, that was awesome.
Thank you for the answer. Thank you.
I love you, Ola. You rock.
Love you too. Bye.
Ola, thank you so very much. And Robert, wow. That first of all, this AMA went by very quickly. Just the incredible information that was shared, all of the participants. Wow. So a few things before we do wrap up. If you want to save the chat information, in other words, if you're watching on YouTube, it's already there. It's in the chat. The links and things like that, little Hollisisms that we've included, as well as it will be in the description down below the YouTube video. If you're watching us on Zoom, you can save the Zoom chat as well. There's 3 dots in the chat. Click on those 3 dots and then click on Save Chat. When we finish this presentation, that will download to your computer. Got to send thank yous to the people who participated in today's AMA: John Tier, Coach Bob Johnson, Peter and Linda, Sharon Zeman, Mary Martyr, Kai Au, Ola Meyer, Veronique Bouchard, and of course, props to Matt Hollis. Matthew, bless you, my friend. Thank you so very much for being our executive producer and our foundation for everything that we do here on the Hollis channel and to help make sure that everybody gets the message. And we want to also, most importantly, besides thank Robert for sharing his valuable time with us, thank you for being a part of this and taking time out of your busy schedule to be a part of these AMAs with the amazing Robert Hollis. So until next time, everybody, thank you again so much. Please be good to yourselves. Be cash. Bye-bye. I'm going to ask that everyone can unmute themselves as we say so long.
Hey, thanks, Robert. Love and appreciate you.
Thank you.
Love you, Jody, Mary, Lisa Marie.
Bye.
Bye.
See you in Miami.
See you,
Yes.
Shauna.
See you
Thank you,
Miami.
Bob, Daniel. Hi, Sarah.
Welcome to Miami.
Bye.
Hi, Sharon.
Hello, everyone.
Arthur.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Arthur.
Bye-bye.
Hola.
Love ya.
Melody, I love you. I love you. Hi, Jan.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wanda. Hi, Wanda. Dustin.
Hmm.
Hi, Peter Stewart and Jim Rowan. Hi, Diane. Hi, Peter.
Hi,
and
Robert.
Linda.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Love you.
Love you too. Look
Thank you
at
so
Peter.
much.
Peter and Linda are giving me a double dose from two
Oh,
different cameras.
I love it. I love
All
it.
right.
God
See you,
bless.
Jerome. Love you guys. Thank you, man.